Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making chocolate muffins. I'm also making something in my bread machine that I'm trying out that I'll try in a future video. Anyway, carrying on with my recipe here. Chocolate muffins. Yum. Right in here I've got 1 2/3 cups of flour. And don't worry, metric people, because the metric amounts will be in the recipe box down below when I write up this recipe. Canadian all-purpose flour, and in the UK or in the USA that would be bread flour or strong flour. Okay, otherwise you have to adjust the amount of flour. And to my flour I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. It's a regular plain old white sugar, castor sugar, granulated sugar, white sugar, whatever you call it in your neck of the woods. To that next I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. Now, cocoa powder has no sugar added to it. You will find places that will sell you something I call cocoa, but it's not powder. It's not the cocoa powder. It already has sugar in it. So make sure you check, because otherwise your muffins will turn out to be way too sweet. This is 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder, and I'm going to have to sift it because it's very fine, and it gets lumps very easily, and they don't integrate well into your baking. If you've got lumps in it, you have to get rid of those lumps. I'm just gonna use my teaspoon here to kind of encourage those to go through my sieve, and there we go. I want to do this right at the time when you're doing it, because that will mean that it won't have a chance to clump up on you again. That's 3½ teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda. 2 different ingredients. Keep that in mind, people. All right, in that goes. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And now I'm just going to stir these together so that I have a nice combined group of ingredients here. I'm just going to stir that around gently, because I don't want to end up with a whole lot on my countertop. Maybe I should have picked a bigger bowl, right? Mix these together until you have a homogeneous looking mixture, so you don't have streaks of chocolate or sugar or flour through it, so it looks pretty much the same all the way through. And stirring this together thoroughly isn't going to change anything at this point. In fact, it's better to do this because then when you get to the next stage, it'll be easier and quicker to mix up your batter. That's what it looks like when it's all mixed together. You have to put this in a preheated 400-degree oven, so I'm just getting my oven started up here to preheat. I don't know about you, but I prefer not to have nuts in my muffins, okay? If you like them, great. 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts or pecans or your favorite kind of nuts, nicely chopped up. But personally, I don't really care for those, so I'm going to substitute 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. So these are nice dark chocolate chips, and I'm just going to stir them in here into my flour mixture. And if I go to do this and it doesn't look like I'm doing enough chocolate chips, you know what? I may add some more chocolate chips. Just kind of stir those in so that you have a nice, they just kind of get mixed all in the batter. Well, it's not a batter yet. They get mixed into your flour mixture. If it doesn't look like enough for you, add a few more. And there you go. That's what the chocolate chips stirred in. And now I'm going to put my thing in the bigger bowl, because I'm supposed to add the liquid to the dry ingredients. Oops. Gonna add another bunch of chocolate chips here. So that's going to end up being more like 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. I find these older recipes, sometimes they're a little bit on the thrifty side when it comes to adding things like nuts and things like that to your recipe. So I'm finished with this part of it. And now on to the liquid part of my recipe. Now the liquids have to be combined separately from the flour and the dry ingredients. Now right now I'm going to beat together an egg. This is a grade A extra large, white, because in all of my years of experience, over 51 years now cooking for my family, I have not found any difference between the flavor or the appearance of white eggs and brown eggs. Maybe that's not your experience, but that's the way I found it. And for some reason, white eggs are cheaper than brown eggs usually, so usually I just go with the white eggs. All right, now to that I'm going to add 1 cup of milk, and this is homogenized full-fat milk. That's 3.25% butterfat. Just use whatever you normally use at home. And 1/4 cup of liquid oil. You can also use 1/4 cup of melted shortening if you want to. But liquid oil is much easier to use, and you don't have to bother melting it first and then using it while it's still a liquid. And now I'm going to beat these 3 ingredients together. I could use a whisk or a fork or whatever, but I have my wooden spoon here handy, and it's, that's what I'm going to use. Sometimes we homemakers just kind of freehand, we're rebels. And we just freehand use whatever we got to hand and make it work. And when I get this mixed together, I'm just going to add this to my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to stir it just until it's combined. That means, so you don't want to see any loose dry ingredients, you want them all combined. And then I'm going to scoop them into my prepared muffin tins, and I'm going to have 12 lovely muffins. Yum. Lovely chocolate with extra chocolate, because the chocolate chips are just going to enhance that chocolatey goodness. Yum. I haven't made these in a while. I can't wait. They're almost like a piece of chocolate cake, except it's a muffin, so it's healthy, right? Muffins aren't like having a cupcake, right? Yeah, because you don't put any icing on a muffin. Although you could probably ice these muffins if you wanted to. Anyway, now that looks all combined to me. I'll just give you a quick peek at that if I can. You're going to see that. Try to get that. There you go. And I'm just going to pour that right into my dry ingredients. Just one simple pour, just like that. And now I'm going to combine these together in here just until my flour and dry ingredients disappear. And then I have a batter. I don't know about in your neighborhood, but chocolate chips have just gone up. Chocolate has gone up outrageously. And since the grocery store seems to think that half a dozen chocolate muffins is worth more than $7, whipping up a batch of these, I can guarantee, isn't going to cost you $7. There you go. Just kind of mix together until they're just combined. And here's my muffin pan. And I'm just going to fill these with my lovely batter. And I suppose if I really wanted to, I could save a little bit of my chocolate chips and just sprinkle a few on top as they go in. But I think I've got enough in here this time that I don't think I need to worry about doing that. And to make sure I get my 12th muffin, I'm going to have to clean my pan here, clean my spoon, clean up my bowl to get my 12th muffin. Don't worry though, there's lots of batter left in this bowl to give me a 12th muffin. Fear not. Don't waste any of this yummy batter. Make sure you clean out your bowl. And clean off your scoop if you're using one. This is a 3 tablespoon size scoop, and I find it does a nice job of giving filling my muffin cups. And here's my 12 lovely muffins, and I'm now going to put these in my preheated 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes, and I'll come back in 20 to 25 minutes when they're cooked and show you what they look like, all lovely and baked and warm from the oven. I'll be back. Hi everyone, and here I am back again. It's 25 minutes later, and here are my beautiful chocolate muffins, fresh and hot out of the oven. And now, don't they look delicious? Have a close look. There you go. I'm going to turn them out of my cooling rack and let them cool before I have some. And those chocolate chips are all melted and kind of dripping out of them here everywhere. Looks absolutely delicious and smells divine. Chocolate. All right. Oh, that fresh baked chocolate smell. Yum. You can't beat it. There's no substitute for it. And these are hot. 400-degree oven, it's hot. It's a hot oven. I think that's 205 Celsius. Here are my beautiful muffins, fresh and hot out of the oven. I hope you enjoyed my video today, and I hope you will like, subscribe, show this video to your friends, give this recipe a try at home, and come on back and watch me next time on Ruby's Classic Cooking. Bye for now.